Welcome, my friends. This is Zelda Kelly with Psychic Secrets, and this is the long-awaited video for January and on. And I'm going to do the first 6 months of 2024 for the United States of America. This is going to be interesting because I've got to preface this by saying there are some planetary movement aspects and placements, I'm going to say, that have never been seen or recorded by any human in the history of the world. We are heading out in uncharted waters, but some of these things are looking to be, well, they're calling for us to be watchmen, and it's all this planetary movement is calling for us to be awake. Now, I've got to say this, I am not an astrologer, and I will not pretend to be, because hats off to those astrologers out there, because it is an exact science, and there's really no room for error, and there's a lot of room for opinion, but the facts are the facts with astrology. So we're going to keep that in mind. And we're also going to keep in mind that as of January, the early morning of January, that's interesting, the early morning of January 2nd of 2024, Mercury retrograde will be direct. That's the last of Mercury we're going to see retrograde for a little while. And I can tell you what, my friends, this has been a tough retrograde period. I want to say that this, coming out of this, we're going to be catapulted out like from a cannon. And I'm also going to say that we're going to feel like we're having this little hangover period after this Mercury retrograde. So we're going to start with this beautiful deck of the influence of the angels. And amazingly enough, this card comes out. It's the Seven of Swords, and we're going to talk about him in a minute, but just take a look at him. Look at there. Look. And you see those angels. Maybe if it'll focus, you'll see those angels in the card right there in the sky. Amazing, right? Okay, so this is a collective reading. We're going to see all elements and all signs. We may even see some things globally. But again, this is for the United States of America. So here we go. I'm actually excited for this one because, like you, I want to know what is going on. Here we are. Here we are. First card, Page of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. King of Swords. They're reflecting a little bit. Let me move this lamp just a little bit so we can see better. Okay, here we are. Six of Cups. Okay, we're going to put, well, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck, the Justice card. You know, just when I think that I can't be surprised, I'm not really surprised that this Justice card has come out. Let's put her to the side, and we're going to stick right here. We're going to just let her sit right there. And then I have another deck. We're going to pull some cards here. Angels, Guides, Spirits. We're asking for insight for the United States for January through June of 2024 is what we're going to be reading for the first 6 months of 2024. Oops, I'm sorry. I do not read reverse. And that's my fault. I'm not paying attention to the cards. Okay, Queen of Cups. We have that Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Two of Swords. Five of Pentacles. And Four of Wands. Yes, Four of Wands. On the bottom of this deck is the Judgment card. Judgment card. Now, this is getting pretty interesting, my friends, because we're going to go through this And this justice and judgment doesn't surprise me a bit. Something's got to give. And you know that as well as I do. We need help. We need leadership in many things. And we are to pray for our leaders no matter how we feel. And that is exactly what we are doing. Let's get started with this reading. First of all, this Seven of Swords. Swords are communication, and they're also air elements. You can see the angels in this just misty air up here watching over. This person looks like he is getting away with something. He like maybe he has stolen or taken something, or there's something that doesn't want to be revealed. With this Justice card out here, my friends, and with this Judgment card, there's going to be plenty that's going to be revealed in this first 6 months of 2024. I will guarantee it. Just when you think that you've thought of and you've seen everything, we're going to see more. That's what all of this means. Now, we've got everything represented on the board. We've got all elements: earth, air, water, and fire. So we're going to put him to the side. We know now that there are some things kept from the U.S., and I think there are some things that some of the people that are running the show are keeping from us. Doesn't surprise me. I know it doesn't surprise you. But let's get started with this Page of Wands. This Page of Wands pages are the announcements. They tell us what direction that we need to be going into. This is a fiery element, and look at that little angel, and she's sweet. But you see the look on this page's face, like the side eye, keeping watch over things, so there may be a direction that they can go quickly. The Page of Wands is dressed very, very nicely, and usually looking up, because there's opportunity and doors open. But the doors opening, who are they opening for? Let me go back to this Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles means that for us in the U.S., we need to stay consistent. We need to stay vigilant, consistent. We need to know exactly where our money is going. We need to know exactly where things are in place. And those are from our leaders. You see, with all these cards, and I'm going to go through them one by one here as quickly as possible. This King of Swords is a king of communication. So, but let me tell you something. He can tell us one thing and mean another. Who is the King of the United States? Well, we don't have a king in the United States. Could be our leader. But be cautious and be careful, because that's what this whole reading is about. Be cautious, be careful, because this Judgment card is telling us people are starting to awaken. That is what you see here. You know, that is what it's, and these people don't have clothes on. When this angel is sounding the trump, there's a resurrection of people. And the nakedness comes from, you've been stripped of all your knowledge, because things that we have thought were truth years ago have never been truth. So there is a judgment coming, and maybe for many. Now, I'm going to come here to this Six of Cups. The Six of Cups for the U.S., we have a lot of good memories. We have a lot that we can think about. But I'm going to tell you, if you can go back into history, and that's with the Six of Cups, if you go back into history, history many times repeats itself. That is going to be very interesting for these first 6 months. We're going to see some things that if we went back maybe 100 or even 200 years, we would see that there was a lot of similarity. There are those in charge that don't belong in charge, and those are those that aren't in charge belong in charge. We are definitely messed up here, and it shows it very much so, to the point where this Knight of Pentacles is trying to put some things in action, and especially over our finances, over everything that is coming about for us. So what is happening in the first 6 months? Well, the economy, that's number one, is going to really feel like, where is this going? We need help. Can we get down any further than what we are? This economy is making everyone feel broke, no matter how much they work, no matter how hard they try. With this Queen of Cups, she is here to tell us, just like this Six of Cups, that there's a memory. There's a memory of time gone by, and the wish that we were just a few years ago. I mean, think about this. Just 5, 7, 10 years ago, we were certainly in a much better place. Many of us are scared. Many of us feel we have to take a particular stand. I'm going to tell you, with this particular card right here, many don't know which direction to go. But I will tell you this. You see this card, and it's funny because we did a reading for January of 2024 collectively for everyone, and this card came up. I'm pretty sure it did. You see that dot above that eye bandage? That is the third eye opening, and that usually happens when other senses are dulled. There's another sense that takes over and heightens. It's time to use your gut instinct, and it's time to decide that what we are told sometimes may not be true. You see, this is telling us that these swords cut both ways, and life is flowing, water is flowing for us. But this Two of Swords tells me that we have two pathways that we can go down, and we need to be watching, maybe even waiting. We need to be using our gut instinct. We need to be using our intuition. For many, this is a time of awakening, and your third eye will be opening where you can see clearly. And that's what this Judgment card is. Seeing things clearly, awakening to the point where you can see the truth. So let's go back to this. What is this going to affect the most? Well, it's going to affect harmony. Harmony around our homes, harmony around us. We feel that we are free. We gravitate to our homes, and yet this can be a really, really big area in which we are affected. Now, let me say this. This is a 4 here, and in the first 6 months, we have April. According to astrology, and everything that I have researched, April is going to be a really, really significant and maybe even tough month for many. And that is because, planetarily speaking, we may see some things that we've never even thought we would ever see. March is going to be a little on the calm side, a little on the silent side. But you're going to feel it as you jump into January from this Mercury retrograde going direct. And actually, there are a lot of things that will be in our favor. I've got to say this because I don't want to say, are we doomed? Because the answer is, I will never believe that the United States will be doomed. You see, we have a lot of these movies that are coming out, a lot of this predictive programming, a lot of fear-mongering. And I want you to know that justice is on the side of those who are waking up to the truth. This justice card, you see, there needs to be balance. And also, this is a Libra. Libra energy, you see, there is also communication there. It is going to be a very interesting time. I don't know how many of you have seen these movies on these streaming services. I watched one the other night and I shook my head because the only thing that I thought of is they're dropping a lot of little Easter eggs. They're causing fear in a lot of people. And believe me, some of these things can happen. I'm not going to say that they won't, because they certainly can. And I do believe that there was something similar happen, and I'm not going to mention it here, but I think that many of you have seen it, and many of you know. We're going to take this Lisa Parker deck, and we're going to ask for some confirmations on some things. But the one thing that I do not want you to do is be in fear. Fear clouds your judgment. Clear thinking is what you need right now. You make sure that you get the facts. Sometimes what we see on our news outlets may not be totally the facts, and it's our job to make sure that we research the facts as much as possible. So let me ask this. Is the United States doomed? I'm going to say by this reading, no, heck no. No, no, no. Let's see what this card says. This is the Queen of Swords. Now, this is amazing because we've had some queens out here. We've had a king. But this Queen of Swords tells me that the United States is going to wake up and get a grip on things. The Queen of Swords is a communication queen, and she's going to make sure that negotiations, if needed, are going to be in a very good way for us Americans that are coming about. Let me see. I want to draw one more card from this Lisa Parker deck. These are beautiful cards. The Empress. This is a new beginning. So when I ask, are we doomed? Certainly not. The Empress tells us that there is a fresh start and a brand new beginning. And I believe let's get this year over with. Now, many of you see a lot of rhetoric, a lot of things going on about elections and candidates and this and that and the other thing. I will tell you, I am having some dreams. I do believe that we will not have an election like we've known it before. I do believe there's going to be an election. So stay awake, stay vigil. Biblically, we are told to be watchmen, and I think now it's time for you to be that. I'm going to take another couple of cards from this deck. It's a combination of playing cards and tarot cards. So I want you to relax. I want you to think about things. And the biggest thing is make sure you know the truth and the facts. What do we have here? The Star card, which is also Aquarius. Now, you don't have to be Aquarius. This Aquarius energy is here because that is telling us, pray. Don't you like that number 17? I sure do. I believe that with this Star card, meditation, prayer, continuing to be balanced, just like, and you can hear Riley in the background. He's chiming in. You see the Justice card with this scales. The scales of justice keeps us balanced. Well, in this Star card, it requires balance because look at her. She is trying to keep balance so she can pour the water. Now, this is a balance in prayer, meditation, life in general, but also between the subconscious and the conscious mind. This is an Aquarian card, which is also a very intelligent air sign. So it's telling me to keep our wits about us. One last deck. And since we use this combination of tarot and playing cards, I now am going to bring out the hidden deck. And we are going to ask about, is there something hidden that we need to be aware of? Do we need to know? What is it that we need to know? Cutting the deck. Now, this is playing cards. Cutting the deck, King of Clubs. I'm going to tell you there's going to be a whole new administration. That's what this looks at. A King of Clubs is someone who has the knowledge of how money works. I want you to know that until we can get things straightened up and settled in 2024, this first 6 months is going to feel like a battleground. Now, I also hear many people ask, will there be a WW3 or will there be a draft or anything like that? I'm going to tell you at first, all of that is possible, but I don't believe the timing is right. I don't believe that any of that is coming about. I believe the conflict and the war is between wills. The conflict and war is between negotiation. The conflict and war is definitely communication. And those who feel that they can get away with things, and then in reality, they certainly are not. Because everything we do in life and on this planet, and in these mighty United States of America, pardon me, are noticed. Can't get away with anything, so don't even try. I'm going to tell you that I feel that everything for the USA, based on this, is going to be tough. And I want you to know that there are those out there that are not going to allow doomsday to happen. I can tell you that. There will be many that will be brought to judgment. And there will be many who have felt like they have been getting away with things that will be brought to justice. I'm also going to tell you to keep watch in the first 6 months. There will be 2 people that may do something with themselves, to themselves. It may show up like a Wild West the next 6 weeks. This next 6 months. But as long as you know that you are to stay awake, you are to read the facts, be a judge, be a watchman, stay vigilant, but also don't get involved. I think you're going to be okay. And I want you to know that the United States of America will be here. It is a country loved by God, and it is a country that God will protect. We're going to be okay. And I want to thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please let me know. And also, if you'd like a psychic reading, come on over to Psychic Secrets. I'll be glad to talk with you. And we have first-time caller rates that I think will be very appealing to you. But in the meantime, for this January starting out and coming out of Mercury retrograde, I want to wish you the very, very, very best. Health, wealth, happiness, abundance, joy, love. Everything will come to you. And you're going to see, we're going to turn this around. So don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Don't fall into the fear-mongering. keep praying. Keep praying. And we're going to be okay. Thank you so much. And I will see you again very, very soon. Happy New Year, everyone. Keep the faith.